And that's it. Now you're going to look and you'll see that that changes to red. And if you, oh, I can mute. And if you go to Chrome, which is the one beside it, in a few seconds, you should see this start to appear. So when you see that, yeah, and now what you might want to do is, because we're live now with Aaron, is change the view to the screen of the camera. I don't remember. And you will see it go back to vMix, because remember, this has a 20-second delay. Yep, you changed it. So yeah, keep it on this, because the other one's going to freak you out. That 20-second delay, you're going to go like, what's not working? So, okay. Good luck. Good luck. I'll go check with Jerry to see if it's working. Excuse me. Just going to see if that's working. Hello, hello. How are you? Good. I know. Actually, I think you exchanged, and I think the other person might have forgotten. Now that you say that, I think. Yeah. You know what? It's all right. It's fantastic. Well, get in there. Thank you. Next week, no, this week is my last Sunday speaking for a few weeks, but we're, checking the technology and right. Let's go and see. When you copy a slide from somebody else's PowerPoint, you knew that there was a case that required that. That's what that was. You're right on. And with any luck, you won't have to do that. I'm going to try. It's good. No, not at this point. To the entrance shot, and away you go. There. Up there. Microphone. Microphone, remember?
Good morning to everyone. Will everyone please stand and sing our opening song?
This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me the golden valley, singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and I rambled, and I followed my footsteps, and all around me a voice was calling to the sparkling sands of her golden beaches, singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining, then I was strolling through the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. A voice was chanting, as the fog was lifting, singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me.
This land was made for you and me. Try and get this off. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster on this greening Sunday morning. A nice January day, yeah. Welcome, 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 everyone, to our Sunday celebration service. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be the minister here at Unity of New Westminster. And for those of you who are watching us live on live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our first live stream in over 2.5 years, and so I hope you enjoy your experience with us. Everybody turn around and wave at the camera. They can't see you anyway, but it feels good. They can see us downstairs, maybe, yes. So, a couple of things. From a housekeeping point of view, I guess, or opening remarks, I just wanted to let you know that we are live streaming for the first time in a while. You'll see we have some new technology. Today is the first day that we're putting it to use, and so we expect that everything will go smoothly, and we are prepared for that not to be so. And either way, we will learn from it, because we make, as Jerry always says, we aim for progress, not perfection. The Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. We honor every person's right to choose their own life path. And we affirm that all are welcome here, all are worthy here, all celebrated here. So let's begin today in a time of prayer and gratitude. As we celebrate this nation, we give thanks that we are on the traditional territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks to First Nations peoples everywhere for their stewardship of this beautiful land. We give thanks that we can be here today, meeting in person as well as virtually, in this awareness of our oneness, our connectedness with each other. We affirm that there is one power, one presence, one intelligence. That power, that intelligence, that creative energy is known and understood by many names, is worshipped and appreciated in many forms. And it is one. There is no spot that God is not. And that includes each one of us. And in this oneness, this connection that we have with one another, we draw on the power that we have to pray, to intend, to uplift. And so, we pray, we intend, we uplift, we envision our love energy flowing out of this room to every person. This blessing for peace and contentment. This blessing of goodwill to all people. We celebrate all. And we are grateful that we have the power to do that. To love, to bless, and to uplift. And so it is. Amen. That's going to fall off.
Oh, you okay? I'm tripping over myself here. Oh, we never saw that. I normally let Rhona get off the stage first, and then I follow up. But today's a little different. You might notice we move things around a little bit. I bet you thought you were in a different church today. Today's daily word is free. No, I don't mean that it's free. I mean, well, it is free anyway. But what I mean is that the word is free. And I didn't get a chance to type it on my computer because Rhona kept me busy last night until 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, so the word of the day for today, Sunday, July the 3rd, 2022, is free. Yay. All right, so living from my Christ nature sets me free. As a spiritual being, I am always free. I remember this at those moments when I feel at the mercy of an unpredictable world. While I may not be able to control what happens around me, I can take comfort knowing I don't need to. I am free to choose my response. But even more, I am free to meet life with my divinity, the breath of my spiritual power. In prayer, I claim divine ideas. I use my gift of imagination to envision the life I wish to live, and the gift of will to make choices to bring it about. I speak affirmations to raise my consciousness and help create conditions for my highest and best outcomes to manifest. I find precious freedom realizing that life doesn't happen to me. Life happens through me. From John chapter 8, verse 36. So if the Son, presumably of God, makes you free, you will be free indeed. Hallelujah.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 so grateful, so very I'm grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so very grateful, so blessed, so grateful, grateful. And every day I start my day by saying how I'm grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful. Every day I say grateful.
Right.
What was that last part that she said?
I'm so grateful. I call today's talk, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Because I feel like this is a time when we want to reset and remember and commit to uplifting some of the values that we think of when we think of the word Canada. And we, as Canadians, or guests of Canadians, Walt is still a permanent resident, not a citizen, but he's an honorary Canadian. We are what makes Canada. Canada is a country. It isn't a value. The thing that makes Canada, Canadian values, are how each one of us show up as individuals to live out those values. And so today, I want to reflect on what some of those values are. My family moved to Canada in 1977. My mom, my dad, I'm the eldest of 5, all 5 of us children. In doing so, we left family behind. My mom left her dad behind. It was a time that was challenging. It was exciting. It was sad. It was all of these various emotions thrown into one big emotional turmoil mess. And why did we do that? Why did we take something that we had there, that we loved, and turn away from it to move to a different country? Filled with uncertainty, not knowing that many people. We had a few family members here, but none in the city that we moved to. We moved because we wanted to come to a place of peace. You see, I was born in South Africa. And in South Africa, life was violent. And so we moved from a land of violence to a land of peace. We moved from a land of danger to a land of safety. From a land where people were not valued. In fact, where it was mandated at that time that people not be treated equally, to a land where it is mandated that every person be treated equally. Canada, internationally, is known most primarily for its peacefulness. And of course, for its Mounties and its traditional red check guy on a mountain and logging and all that stuff. But it is also known primarily for its peacefulness and for how well Canadians take care of each other. And in the past several years, there has been so much upheaval in our lives, hasn't there been? We've seen it with a pandemic which has killed millions of people across the planet. We've seen violence that we assumed would happen in other countries happen in the United States, our neighbor, which we always consider to be as peaceful as we are, or at least relatively peaceful. And then we have seen some of that violence trip over and slide into our own country, which is disturbing. We also noticed in the last couple of years that things that we thought were relegated to history are actually happening again. And so things that we assumed were kind of done and dusted and let's move on, let's continue to evolve, aren't actually as stable as we thought they were. And so we've seen countries at war, and we've seen racial violence, and we've seen questioning about things that we thought we already nailed, about things like rights to abortion, things like gender equity, things like the right to love who you want to love. And we start to see that these things are becoming asked about again. Fair enough, mainly in the United States at this point. But I put it to you that unless we are vigilant about upholding our own values, that we aren't that far away from having similar discussions happen to us. And so my request today is to reset and remind ourselves about who we are as a nation and as individuals in this nation. Because I don't think we are immune to those forces. And we want to stand on guard. So let's talk about some of the things that we value as Canadians. The first thing that I want to talk about is diversity, and then equity, and then inclusion. They are three separate things. Diversity is the state of having variety. Is Canada a diverse country? Absolutely. It has lots of different nationalities, and anyone who went out to any Canada Day celebration in the last few days will have seen the equivalent of the United Nations in any one spot, and I think that's fabulous. Little children from all nationalities singing and dancing and wearing their Canada flags, even if they were born here, and if they weren't born here, it doesn't matter. They love this country. Canada has the 8th largest immigrant population in the world. 1 out of every 5 of us was not born in Canada. And out of our population, 5%, 1 in 20 people, are Indigenous. In 1988, Canada passed the Multiculturalism Act. And it was the first country in the world to pass a law declaring a celebration for multiculturalism. That's who we are. And last year, for example, Canada was the first country in the world to expand the national census question, which always included gender, to now say gender at birth, and a person can choose what that was, as well as gender identity. What is your identity? Because it may not be the same as your gender at birth. The first country to claim and recognize and include that in their national census. And so, what happened is we discovered that 1 out of every 300 Canadians who are over the age of 15 identify as non-binary, that is, neither male nor female officially, or transgender. 1 out of every 300. And most of them are in the 20 to 24-year-old range. So more of our younger people are willing to step forward to say that they identify differently than their gender at birth. And that is what diversity is knowing that we are all different, knowing that we are a variety of people, the state of having variety. Then the next part is equality. You may know it, but what do you do with that? And so equality is taking the stand and having the value of treating every person as equal, as equally deserving, regardless of what their diverse label might be. And of course, Canada, in including that question, for example, on their census, is taking a stand towards help us to understand who we are so that we can make sure that we are treating everyone equally. And how do we do that? With policies for inclusion. And what inclusion is an intention to ensure that there are no barriers for people, regardless of their label. So it's to make sure that anything that might stop any person, any one of our diversity, from being included, we want to reduce those barriers. And that's what inclusion aims to do. And so, for example, in our education system, Canada is considered one of the leaders in inclusive education, where we don't separate different students based on labels that they may have. We have everybody into the same classroom so that we don't limit their access to friendships, their access to teams, their access to contributing to the classroom, all of which have a detrimental effect on people who would otherwise be excluded. And so these three different parts, diversity, lots of us, different faces, different approaches, different names, ages, genders, all of that stuff. Equality, a commitment to making sure that everyone is treated the same. And inclusion, a commitment to making sure that any barriers to being included are removed. And so, as Canadians, what are we doing, each one of us, in our own lives when it comes to making sure that we are including everyone in our decisions, in our thoughts, in our activities? Let's move to accountability. We are not a perfect country. The long and painful history of colonialism and its impact on the people who first occupied this land is now thankfully being more and more increasingly acknowledged. The recent discoveries of the unmarked graves of children who were far from their homes and their families rocked many Canadians to their core. Most of us had no concept of the impacts of the residential school system. In fact, many of us didn't even know this institution existed. And so these discoveries were literally the first time that many Canadians even became aware of the horrific and inhumane treatment of our fellow Canadians. And in late 2017, Prime Minister Trudeau made a formal apology on behalf of the Government of Canada to students of the residential schools in the Newfoundland and Labrador programs. and to their families. That was a first big government apology. There was one in 2008 as well, but it wasn't a formal apology. We make small steps towards truth and reconciliation, towards inclusion, towards holding ourselves accountable, holding others accountable, holding our institutions accountable. And we have more to do. I found this written several years ago, before the discovery of the unmarked graves. And I believe it was written by a child. And it says, "We are reaching out our hands to honor the Aboriginal people. If we keep on doing this, their broken hearts will mend, and they will feel peaceful and happy in Canada." One of our prime values must be accountability, the ability to admit that we caused harm, and the willingness to work and endure the discomfort of the work that leads to healing. And that leads to integrity. And I have some funny little stories on here. You know, an image of a drunk guy had stolen a bike on his way home and then forgotten where he stole it from. So he put a note up saying, "Hey, I stole your bike. If this is yours, call me so I can get it back to you." I have another one. Sometimes I get offended by Canadian stereotypes, but then I remember once that my friend came back from vacation to see a robber in her kitchen, and her family set him down, and then they had a lengthy discussion about life choices. There's something about integrity there. Ontario thief returns stolen goods and leaves another $50 for damages. Isn't that cute? Integrity. No theft. Admitting wrong. Coming clean. Choosing to take the discomfort and the licks, whatever they might be, so that we can stay in integrity with our values. And I have these as jokes to kind of lighten things up, but integrity is part of that truth and reconciliation passage. And the final one that I thought was so cute, this guy in my class said that his brother lost his wallet in Canada and it was returned to him, including some Canadian souvenirs. Here's another one. Creativity. Canada has done some pretty incredible things. Sometimes we tend to think that these incredible things happen in other countries, but it was in Canada that insulin was discovered or created or tested or whatever it is that they do to form insulin. Insulin was created here. The wheelchair was invented here. Alkaline batteries, the zipper, the incandescent light bulb, radiation treatments for cancer, the Robertson screwdriver, which is only found in Canada, the caulking gun, the paint roller, the Canada arm, and of course, basketball, all Canadian. I don't know if hockey was created here, but I did have that on my list, and then I thought, I'd better take hockey off because I don't think it was created here.
Yeah, Canadians don't like
Pardon?
Ice hockey was.
Ice hockey was created here. There you go. Ice hockey was created here. We own that game. We own that game whether it was created here or not.
Yeah, I have noticed that Canadians don't like hockey.
Yeah, we don't like hockey at all. And then one of the things that we're really internationally known for, and it is an amazing thing to have as a life skill, and that is humor. The ability to laugh, the ability to lighten things up, the ability to see that there, in even the most humdrum things, there are things that can be funny. And so look at the people who are Canadian, who are known as comedians. We have Russell Peters, obviously, Samantha Bee, Ryan Reynolds, who's like, I love Ryan Reynolds, Jim Carrey, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy of Schitt's Creek fame, and so much more. Mike Myers, Norm Macdonald, some amazing Canadians who are, I said Jim Carrey, who are Canadians. And we don't need to be like officially comedians. We are funny people. We see the humor in different things. And there's this sign that I have up on the slide, which is the middle of winter and a McDonald's thing saying, have a smoothie to get out of the heat. So, engage your funny bone, everyone. Politeness. Oh my goodness. We are so known for our politeness. Manners maketh man, so my mother says. The Canadian standoff. Have you ever heard of the Canadian standoff? It's when two people are trying to get through the door at the same time, and one says, no, you first, and the other one says, no, you first, and the other one says, no, you first. Well, you got here first. Well, actually, I didn't. Well, ladies first. Well, that's not really fair, is it? And so we have this in and out and so on. And of course, that's taking it to a supreme extreme. But it is funny. It is funny. And I found this little slide that said, Canadian graffiti. And you know how in graffiti, normally you'd see something like, your mama is, and it wouldn't be a very nice word. Well, here, your mama is a nice lady. Canadian graffiti. Remember to have fun. And one of the most important politeness aspects is our ability to say sorry. My friend Martha Creek is from the United States, and she tells a story about coming into Canada and being in the grocery store in Canada and minding her own business and parking her shopping cart. And then she hit somebody. That's what happened. She hit somebody else's shopping cart. And they said sorry. And she thought that was just hilarious. She thought it was so funny. There's a story about, if you go into a movie theater and you're not sure what country you're in, if you go into a movie theater and the movie is playing, all you need to do is walk down an aisle with some people while the movie is playing and get to a seat in the middle. And if you're in Canada, the people who are seated are going to apologize. We are so polite. We're so polite that in 2009 in Ontario, you may not even know this exists, but there is something called the Apology Act. And the Apology Act was created to stop people from basically being held accountable unfairly just because they said the word "I'm sorry." Because, if you say the word "I'm sorry," it could mean that you're actually taking responsibility, but not in Canada. And so, it was, here, and I'll quote, "It was introduced as a measure to give lawyers a fair chance to defend clients who were never guilty, but apologized to the aggrieved all the same." Isn't that great? I think that's fantastic. And then there's a picture, let's see if I've got that slide on here, of, I think it was at an Olympic curling match. And of course, everyone's bringing their placards, "We'll go Canada," or whatever it might be. Well, the back of the placard says, "Sorry about the sign, hey?"
Sorry about the sign.
Yeah. And what is the foundation? Why do we do this? Why do we do this wanting to say sorry all the time? Well, actually, I think it's a really healthy thing at times. And that is because we want to be peaceful. And we want to show that we care. Canadians are known across the world as peace-loving people, as people who will not make a fuss. Sometimes to an extreme that we don't make a fuss, but that we don't make a fuss, that we are peace-loving, peace-creating, peace-holding people. I remember once I was in New Orleans, and I don't know what the transgression was that this person did. Either they didn't have enough of something that I'd asked for, or they were late. I don't know what it was, but they profusely were, apologizing because they didn't have whatever it was. And I said, "No worries." And he said, "Are you from Canada?" Because it was not what he expected. The presence of peace is to present and move just that tiny bit more towards a peaceful response, even if sometimes a peaceful response is not your first reaction. At any point, we have a choice when there's a transgression. And that choice is towards peace, no worries, or it's, look at all the ways that you have harmed and done me wrong, and so on. Part of this peacefulness that we espouse and live up to in Canada is this easygoing, going with the flow, choosing the battle, not making everything the battle. And part of that is because we care about each other. And we treat people with kindness. It's so hard to know what Canadians are best known for. Peace, humor, kindness, care for its people. Care for its people. And regardless of your political outlook, regardless of your opinion about how things went throughout the pandemic, you might be interested to learn in a study that was just published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal in June of 2022, very recently, showed that Canada handled key aspects of the response to COVID-19 better in the first 2 years of this health emergency than most of the leading countries of the world. Most of the G10 countries did not handle things as well as we did. researchers looked at COVID-19 infections. They looked at deaths. They looked at vaccination rates. They looked at economic performances and all of these different factors. And what they discovered is that Canada's per capita rate of infection was second only to Japan. Long after the United Kingdom, the United States, all the countries, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, Germany, Sweden, became second. Canada's rate of death was the second lowest, also only after Japan. And so I think of that and I balance it with this peacefulness that we espouse. And I want to hold the people who are anti-mask and really angry and so on in a big bubble of love. Because they were protected too. And so, we care about our people. We care about each other. We practice kindness, whether we want to or not. There are times when we don't want to wear a mask. It's the kind thing to do. We do it. Does it save lives? Apparently it did. We practice kindness. It is who we are as Canadian. It is part of the reason that we are considered peacemakers. It's part of the reason that we're funny. It all comes down to kindness and care. And so, here are the things that I've spoken about today. And I invite you not just to think of it in terms of Canada, but of each one of us. How are we doing in these? And can we recommit to upping our game in how we celebrate diversity, in how we treat people equally, in how we make sure that we include everyone and remove the barriers that exclude them? Where in our lives are we not holding ourselves accountable and out of integrity? Where can we be more creative and add to the wonder of the planet? Where can we lighten up and be humorous, more funny, more lighthearted, more willing to laugh and to see that sometimes things happen and we can just roll with it? Where can we continue to be polite, please and thank you, and consideration for the other? Where can we increase our level of peace? Where can we increase our level of kindness? Can we stand for these values and can we recommit to live them? Because in this way, we stand on guard for Canada and uphold our values for this beautiful country. I bless you.
Canada, what's with Canada? We got big cities, but a lot of trees and rocks. Yeah, the winter's cold here. Wear 2 pairs of socks. There's half the world's fresh water to paddle your canoe or camp along the shoreline. It's what we like to do in Canada. Ooh, I'm living in Canada. Float my boat in Canada. Bait my hook in Canada. We tend to do things different. We each have our routine. Some of us eat kubasa, some of us poutine.
Oh, j'aime poutine.
But we have traditions that help us stick together. Our milk comes in a bag and mosquitoes eat at leisure. Playing in a slow suit, the true north strong and free. Hockey night on Saturday, there on CBC.
Or now on Sportsman.
In Canada. Center ice in Canada.
Coming to you, coast to coast.
He shoots, he scores in Canada. Oh, I'm a player in Canada. We pronounce the letter R like we're pirates on a ship. And we'll drive 2,000 miles for a summer camping trip. We wear sorels in winter while plugging in the car. We eat the holes from donuts. We love Nanaimo bars. And we do possess a word that lubricates our speech. It's pretty good, eh?
Pretty good, eh?
And it's always within reach in Canada. How's it going in Canada? Out and about in Canada. Oh, drop your G in Canada. Oh, I've slept out in a forest, scared I heard a bear. I've climbed a rocky mountain just because it's there. Crossed the great St. Lawrence, said merci beaucoup. Pardon me, I'm sorry, excuse me. And to you in Canada, politely in Canada, right up here in Canada. Oh, you don't butt in Canada. Every city empties on the 24th of May.
Queen's birthday.
And if we say not bad, we're better than okay.
Not bad.
There's workman's comp and pogey for when we're shown the door. There's Canadian Tire money in at least one kitchen drawer. And we have a golden rule that runs between these shores. You stay out of my face, I'll stay out of yours. In Canada, get along in Canada. Kiss the card in Canada. Oh, a friendly giant in Canada.
Bonne fête, Canada. Happy Canada Day from the Hadfield family.
So good.
That was Chris Hatfield. I don't know if you guys knew, but he's from Canada. He's one of my favorite guys. He's an astronaut. He's been to space. Yeah. And speaking of inclusivity, you are all welcome to join our prayer services on Mondays from 10:30 to 11:15. That's 45 minutes on a Zoom call. Check the website, and like I said, we would like everybody to be included. Rhona does a really nice job on that prayer thing. And speaking of kindness and giving and loveliness, Lyle has finished the star blanket / quilt, and it is hanging in the fellowship hall. Please go down and take a look at it. It is beautiful. And raffle tickets are available now for $10 each or 3 for $25. Last day to buy them is August 28th, and the draw will be on September the 11th, immediately after the service. Cliff, did you want to say something more? Did you want to?
Also open on Wednesdays and Fridays, 11 till 1.
To come in and
And
buy tickets. All right. So let's get down there and get tickets and have your friends sell tickets and have the little kid on the corner selling Kool-Aid selling tickets. Everybody can sell tickets. All right. Cindy's Creativity Cafe and Karaoke Bar was a huge success. There was singing, there was painting, there was connection and community. Please mark your calendar for the last Sunday of each month and invite your friends and family for an afternoon of artistic expression, whatever that might be. Admission is by donation. We do ask for $10 minimum if you plan to paint, to cover the cost of the material. And you are all welcome. I'm sure you all have a talent that you would like to display. Everybody has something. Okay, so all are welcome on, again, the last Sunday of each month from 12:30 to 3:30. Don't go away, there's more. Mark your calendars to join our Unity booth at the New Westminster Pride Celebration. That would be Saturday, August the 13th from 3 to 8 p.m. And we are so grateful for your gifts, which support our ministry. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, so please feel free to pass the basket if you are one of those people that has a pre-authorized payment. My lovely wife is saying. As we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something you're grateful for. We are so blessed. Song?
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
indeed all so blessed. So blessed. Thank you all for being here today. Diane, welcome back. This is her first time back since the beginning of the pandemic. Yay! Thank you to Jerry, who is monitoring Zoom in the office. Thank you to Lidwina, who is on sound today, and Richard, who is her sidekick today. Thank you, Walt, for setting up the camera and for doing the platforming and being here. And thank you to Cliff, who is probably making coffee by now. Thank you, all of you, for being here. We are so blessed. And as you leave today, I do invite you to consider some of these thoughts about what do we stand for? What do I stand for? Is it reflecting and reflective of my values? And let's uplift and uphold those. Shall we move into a circle and we can sing our peace on? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gisela. See, thank you for that reminder, Gisela. This is my last Sunday service for 7 weeks. So for the summer, we are celebrating summer with a guest speaker series. Next week, the guest speaker will be none other than Alexandra Gale. She will be our licensed Unity teacher, and she will be our guest speaker. And then the following week, we have Thomas DeShooter. And then after that, I think Janet Law, and then Eric Hellman. Like, some of our favorite speakers are going to be here for the summer. And so I'm not leaving Dodge or anything. I'm just taking a break from Sunday services. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now, with every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God. of God. We are the presence of God wherever we are. God is and holy
Let's all meet downstairs for coffee, everybody. Woo! Coffee. Let me put a mask on. Then I'll hug everyone.